Hi, we are in our regular Gemara Shir, Baruch Hashem. The Shir Nishmas, my father, Menachem and Akiva, for the quick release of all the hostages, Alon Ben Idit and everybody else there. May they come back soon. We are learning Masechet Shabbat Daf Kuf Lamed Ches Amud Aleph, Kuf Lamed Ches Amud Aleph Shabbos. Get your Gemaras right now or watch us on screen. And we are learning about a person who wants to take a net, something that's like a sifter, yes, strainer, place it on a barrel on Shabbos, and what does he want to do? L'shamer, meaning he wants to take the sediments of the wine, the garbage, the bottom of the barrel, takes them, then in them, there's still a little bit of wine, droplets of wine, drops of wine, and now all the wine is going to trickle down through the holes and the gook will stay on top. Is that allowed on Shabbos? Not allowed on Shabbos? And Yom Tov? Not in Yom Tov? Okay. So now we had a machloikis in the Mishnah. According to Rabbi Lezer, we said one is allowed to do this kind of action on Shabbos. We explained the different reasons yesterday. According to Rabbi Lezer, that's not called borer because you're going to use it straight away. So even though you use a strainer, it's still not a problem of borer. According to Chachamim, you are not allowed to use it. That's not allowed on Shabbos. That act of straining the wine and filtering it out of the shmalim, according to Chachamim, ein noisnin letluya b'Shabbos. You're not allowed to place the sediment on the sifter because that's either borer or meraket, but it's osur. That's for sure osur. The shaila is why, but it's osur. Now, the word osur is a big word. Why? Osur means it's forbidden. There are two levels of that. There's osur as potter of al osur. If you did it, it's an issa derabanan. Or osur may mean osur and chayiv. In other words, it's a real issa deraisa, which could be isur koris, memezit, chas v'sholem, or isur chiyuv chatas b'derabanan, and therefore that leads to the following question of the Gemara. Ibailehu, that a question in the times of the Gemara, shimer mai. What happens if the guy was meshamer? What is the result? What's the consequence? Amar of Kahana, shimer chayiv chatas. Yeah, according to Chachamim, if he did the shimur, he really strained the water, the wine out of the sediment. Chayiv chatas. It's an isur d'oraisa. Okay, fine. Maskif la Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes is attacking Rav Kahana. Mi'ika midi d'Rabbanan mechayiv chatas. Is there such a thing that, according to Rabbanon, it's an Isser Deoraisa Chiyuv Chatos? According to Blazer, it's lechatchila allowed? Meaning, this is too much of a chasm. The gap between the opinions is too stark, is too much. One of them says it's a Chiyuv Deoraisa, the other one doesn't feel like you have to at least, maybe ask the Rabbanon. Yeah, if one opinion holds the Raisa, the other one would say the Rabbanon, right? One says the Rabbanon, one's mutter. But to have Mechlokes Tanoim with no other opinion in the middle. In other words, you have what? One saying Chiv the Raisa, they would kill the guy in times of Beis Hamikdash, right? Chiv skila, right? If it's amazing, the other one says no, go ahead to do it, no problem, cool. Yeah, that's kind of too extreme. That's the Gemara's question apparently. Yeah. Now, Maskif Rav Yosef, alam aloi. Maskif again. Rav Yosef is giving us a counter attack to defend Rav Kahana. Why not? I'll show you another example where the dynamics are extreme between Tanoim. Look, Ir Shel Zohov. There's a case of Ir Shel Zohov. Let's focus on the case of Ir Shel Zohov. Everybody knows Yerushalayim Shel Zohov. It's a famous song, right? Yerushalayim Shel Zohov in Daf Nun Tes was a tachshit. Rabbi Akiva bought his wife Rachel when he got very rich. Eventually, this kind of piece of jewelry called Jerusalem of gold. Some say it was a crown, like a tiara. Some say it was a brooch, but it was a very heavy. I'm not telling you history and cool facts. What I'm saying now actually is nogea to the sugya. It was a very heavy laden, very heavy kind of tachshit. Now, let's just remember what we learned many moons ago in Bamei Isha, that generally speaking, a woman, I'm not speaking about today, but generally speaking, there was a gzera that may or may not apply today. The women were not allowed to wear tachshitim, to wear jewelry to the street, from this house to the street, maybe also, generally speaking. Why? Because even though the woman wears it on her ears, on her whatever neck, it's lavush. Midoraisa, it's okay. You're allowed to wear a shirt. She's allowed to wear a tachshit. It's serving the body. It's shimush aguf, which is defined as it's stuffed to the gush. She's not carrying the jewelry. Yeah, she's wearing it. To wear is okay. So why did Chachamim not allow it? Because many times women would show the tachshit to the friend. You want to see my new ring? Phew, the newest ring. Yeah, you have no idea what my husband bought for me. $10,000 ring. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna buy me another one. And what? And I have to show it off to my friends. Otherwise, why did she buy it? Yeah. So then what? There's a chashash she may show it to her friend and then come to carry dal dams b'shusarabim. Now that only applies, generally speaking, to poor women or maybe middle of the road kind of women, upper middle class. But a real rich woman, it's not classy to do that, right? A woman is really rich, it's not classy for her to show, yeah? She's walking around faking as if she doesn't care, although she does, yeah, but she's not going to show it to her friends. Yeah? What? It's not, it's too, she wants everyone to look, no, whatever, it's the psychology. You have to be born in North Tel Aviv to know that kind of, I know what I'm talking about. That's what the Gemara says is true. But kids are the real fancy, rich, snobbish women, so they're not going to show it. It's too in your face. They're going to be more, kind of aloof and reserved and more, right, exactly. So basically, here comes a new question about Ir Shel Zov. What's Ir Shel Zov? Very fancy, big kind of piece of jewelry. Now comes 3 opinions regarding the Yerushalayim Shel Zov. The Rabbi Meir Mechayev Chatos. Rabbi Meir says if a woman wears it, is chayav chatos. What? Did you hear that? Normally, tachshitim are usher to wear. She may show the Yerushalayim Shel Zov. Why is it mechayav chatos? The Rishonim say, I checked it again just to make sure, although I remembered it from last time. Chayav chatos, a piece of jewelry is something a little bit more refined that's supposed to adorn the body. This is so heavy, it's like she's carrying the tachshit. Yeah, it's like a status symbol. She's screaming, I am rich. It's like a sign, I am rich. Yeah? So basically, the Shala is Rabbi Kiva about it to Rochel. It's a different question. Of course, their Kavanah was different. There's very Haley Ganyonim. But the idea is, it's a very heavy kind of thing that, according to Rabbi Meir, is already not a tachshit. It's a carrying the item. Yeah? It's so heavy and so showy that it's not kilu, merging into the woman's looks. It's like a sign. It's like she's carrying something because it's so heavy and so expensive and so this, right? That's what Rabbi Meir says. Rash Baritva, people say it over there. Now Rabbi Meir mechayev chatos. The Rabbi Lezer shar lechatchila. Rabbi Lezer says no problem. She's allowed to wear Yerushalayim Shel Zov to begin with. So before I go into the details, we see that there's a precedent. Why are you telling me? Why are you telling my friend Rav Kahana, says Rav Yosef, that what he's saying is wrong because you can't have such a diverse, such an extreme machlekes? Not true. We saw a meforshim machlekes, whether you like it or not, that what? One opinion says chayiv, the other says mutter. What is it? Mahi. Okay, let's examine the case of the extreme machlekes of the Yerushalayim Shel Zov. The Tanya says in the Braisa, Lo yiteitze ish be'ir shel zov. A woman should not go out with an ir shel zov. You understand why it was so heavy? Because they had, like they do it nowadays also, they had like a whole, basically, mamish, not a picture, like no, how do you say it? Like, not a statue, like a whole, like a model. It was like a mini model of Yerushalayim, the hotel and all that, yeah? So it was very heavy. It's like a whole thing here or here, like mamish, a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like a relief of Yerushalayim. So that was big. So now she's not allowed to go out wearing it on Shabbos. And I told you why. Rabbi Meir believes it's beyond Gzeira. It's so heavy and so showy that it's already not considered a tachshit. It's considered as her carrying, like a symbol, like a sign. So that's beyond, that's real. Like you're carrying a sign in your hand. You're carrying it in your head. Shkoyach. That's what Rabbi Meir holds. The Chachamim Omrim, opinion number 2. Chachamim Omrim lo teitza. She's not allowed to go lechatchila. V'im yotza ptura. If she did go out, she's ptura. What's a poshup pshat? Simple. Chachamim say no. We don't believe in that lomdas, in that philosophy. Yerushalayim Shel Zov is really a sign, a status symbol. No, we think Yerushalayim Shel Zov is a regular tachshit, and most tachshitim on Shabbos, You're not allowed to wear why midirabanan, unless you show them to your friend and shlept aladanis. But if you did, you're ptura, regular gzerabanan. Yerushalayim Shazov is no different to many other tachshitim, to a necklace, to a ring. Tachshitim are tachshitim, yeah? So don't do it, but if you did, you're potter, because it's just an Isur D'Rabbanan, not Mezalzel, but it's Isur D'Rabbanan. Opinion number 3, Rabbi Lezer Omer, Yoytze Isha Be'ir Shazov Lechatchila. Wow. Rabbi Lezer says a woman is allowed to actually go out with Yerushalayim Shazov. To begin with, the Gzera does not apply. Why? I told you why. Because Rabbi Lezer holds of because not only Rabbi Lezer, because we paskin that the real rich and fancy women, the real jet setty women, the 5 stars kind of women, they don't show the tachshitim, right? They're kilo above everybody else, they think. And therefore, since most women who wear that tachshit are super duper, right? Mimela, they're not going to show. So Chachamim did not apply the gzer to that tachshit, because that tachshit is worn by women who normally don't show off. Therefore, the gzer doesn't apply. You hear what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, okay, you see that at the end of the day, what happens? We have 2 extreme opinions. Rabbi Meir said it's a chiyuv chatos, and Rabbi Lezer says that it's allowed. So why you're taking Rav Kahana da Amoira? We've seen a brisa, black and white, mefurash, where Tannaim tend to be extreme against each other, right? Amale Abaye answers Abaye. Do you think Rabbi Lezer relates to, he responds to Rabbi Meir that says Chevet Chatas? No, he did not talk to Rabbi Meir. At the Rabbanon Kai, he is relating, he's answering Rabbanon, the middle opinion, the Amri, the middle opinion says, Potter oval osu, those Tannaim, the Tanakama that says, Potter oval osu, like a regular tachshit, and to them, says Rabbi Lezer, he tells them, mutar l'chatchila, that it's allowed l'chatchila. And the question is, what kind of answer is that? Please, I'm begging you, please. Thank you very much. Yeah? Mutar l'chatchila. What does it mean? There are 3 opinions. Frek Toises, we're going to see today Toises and Toises Rosh. Today I'm compensating. It's a shorter shir, but more iyun. You happy with that, no? Yeah. Says Toisves, it's the second Tosfos. You see the narrow lines? Towards the end of the narrow lines, there are 3 diburim there. Said Tosfos, I don't get what the answer is. What's the answer? Because there's a 3rd opinion, so what? There's a mitigating opinion. And actually, some Achronim sharpened the question, and they said at the end of the day, there really are only 2 opinions. Why? Because the Meir says it's a chiyuv chatos, because he believes what? Yigiramish carrying a masui. And the other ones say it's not, or Rabbi Lezer says, I disagree with you completely. It's not a masui. Not only it's not a masui, it's a tachshit, and it's a tachshit that's allowed. So it's still extreme. It's still an extreme machlokes. Just got the middle opinion, so what? Answers the Tosfos Rosh. I'm reading the Tosfos Rosh inside. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't send it to you by email, but you can see it later in the video. Frek, it's not a long Tosfos Rosh. You have to hold cup a little bit, but it's short and sweet. Frek the Tosfos Rosh. Tema, Maika Meshani. What's the answer? Same question as Tosfos. Akati Rabbi Meir Mechayev Chatos. Rabbi Lezer Shari L'Chatchila. Right? At the end of the day, Rabbi Meir says, Chayev, Mister, you're going to be Chayev Chatos. And if you mazid, we have a nice roof to throw you. Sorry. And Rabbi Lezer allows L'Chatchila. Still extreme. V'yesh loima. Now, the Tosfos Rosh builds the brisa very smart, different way. There's like a shtick that changes everything. The Rabbi Meir Rabbi Lezer pligi b'dvrei Tanakama, which means everyone believes that there is a Tanakama here. In other words, it's Tannaim arguing about other Tannaim. I'll read the words first. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Lezer both argue b'divrei Tanakama, which means Rabbi Meir sover Tanakama mechayev chatos. Rabbi Meir says like this: Tanakama is mechayev chatos. Okay, as Rabbi Meir says. Okay, v'rabbanon de pligi alayim repoter v'losu. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Lezer argue about a Tanakama and Rabbanon. Says Rabbi Meir. Soon I'll read it into the Gemara. So it sounds very nice. Tanakama holds chiyuv chatos, and Rabbanon say poter v'losu. That's legit. That's legitimate, right? There's Tanakama chatos, and Rabbanon poter v'losu. Rabbi Meir is not saying his own opinion. He is the shofar. He's the voice, the spokesman for Chachamim, for Tanakama, that says chiyuv chatos, and we know there's a rabbanon potter avaloser. Okay, that's fine. That's not too extreme. The Rabbi Eliezer Sova, Rabbi Eliezer says no. I also know there's a Tanakam and Rabbanon, but I believe they spoke differently. The Tanakam is Sova potter avalosu, the Rabbanon de pliga l'shar lechatchila. Rabbi Eliezer says no. Tanakama says it's potter avalosu, it's a regular tachshit. Potter avalosu, it's a regular gzera, and Rabbanon shar lechatchila. So that comes out beautiful. Comes out there is no extreme machlokes. Why? Because Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Eliezer don't argue with each other. They argue about what the Nekama said. Even if you don't get the entire cheshbon, it's a very, very choshev answer. Basically, if you and I say, I don't know, apples, you say oranges, very, very different, something's wrong. But if I say that I heard that Rob saying this, and you say you heard the other Rob saying that, that's not so bad. And by the way, the machlok is not so extreme. Rabbi Meir says that Tanakama says what? Chayev. And Rabbi Eliezer says Tanakama says potu. It's not so extreme. If you look on all sides, there's no extreme machlokes. And Rabbi Meir says that Rabbanan say potu, and Rabbi Eliezer says Rabbanan say mutar. The way Tosfos Rosh rearranged it, everyone is always moving one checker, yeah, shifting one step next to the other one without being an extreme machlokes. You see the Tosfos Rosh inside? Yeah. By the way, you should know. I told my Talmidim in Yeshiva. I'm telling everybody that whenever you have a difficult Tosfos, the first place to go, besides the Maharsha, is Tosfos Rosh. Tosfos Rosh many times answers Tosfos' question. Sometimes clearly, like here, and sometimes by adding one word or changing one sentence, the wrong way around or the other way around, like we had it recently in Daf Memtes, is what? It changes the whole picture, and Tosfos is much clearer. Yeah. Let's see it now in the Gemara, or maybe you shall continue. Let's see it in the Gemara. Very nice. Let's see it in the Gemara. Let's continue. Let's go back. My Tanya. Loteitza isha bir shozov v'miyotzo cheves chatos diver Rabbi Meir, quoting who? Quoting who? Tanakama. The Chachamim are loteitza miyotzo ptura. It's still Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir is the first two lines. Rabbi Meir is quoting Tanakama chatos and quoting Chachamim ptura. Says Rabbi Eliezer, Yotzei lechatchila is only relating to Chachamim, to the second ones. In other words, Rabbi Eliezer says lechatchila on the second opinion, and therefore Rabbi Eliezer would say also to the first opinion. Bingo. It's all good. Yeah, very nice. Baruch Hashem. Okay, so all is well. Now, Frank the Gemara, a new question. And the question is, Mishumai Matrinan Bey. So as we know, there's an issue of, according to, let's summarize. After all said and done, Rav Kahana got very nice protection from his friends. Rav Kahana is really the correct one. And what did he say? That according to Chachamim, if you did that straining, that filtering, call it whatever you want, how is it called? Meshamer. If you did Meshamer, you chayv chatos. Now the question is, which one of the 39 Ovos Melachos you chayv about? Let me just remind you what you learned in Daf and Gimel. There are three scaringly similar Ovos Melacha, all have to do with separation, with separating the good from the bad or the bad from the good. These are Zoire, Boirer, Umeraked. It's a very important introduction to what we're about to see. Zoire is when you winnow. You use the wind to get rid of the bad stuff, and the good stuff falls back to the ground. Zoire is not part of our sugya. There's Boirer and Meraked. Boirer is normally done from like kitnios, you have grains, legumes, or other grains, and you separate the bad, the little pebbles, the garbage, the trash, you separate it from the good, yeah? By normally taking the bad out of the good, yeah, even with your hands. It's chiyuv chatas. I don't know, you heard it yesterday online, yeah? If you don't follow one of the three conditions, chiyuv chatas. Yes, if you take with your hand the bad out of the good, that's derech breira, chiyuv chatas. Now, the other one is meraked. Meraked does mean to dance. It's okay, Hasidim, you can dance on Shabbos. Meraked, I also dance in Breslov a little bit, yeah? Meraked is what? You take the sifter, you call it in American English, right? The sifter, and you sieve the flour. That's meraked. It looks like it's dancing. That's what's called dancing. No, very good. There, the good, that's actually a good point. The good goes down into the plate, into the wherever you want, and the bad stays up usually. Yeah, usually the good kemach, the good flour goes down. It's the opposite. So what? It's not the same as malacha. Fine. Yeah. So Because why is it a different Melacha? Because here using the hands and here using the sieve, because that's done to Garinim, that's done to Kemach. There are some differences. Okay?
That's why it's mutter.
It's not mutter. Who's mutter? No, they're all chai chatas. No. No way. No, 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 my friend. We are not following Rabbi Lezer. No, no, no. We are now in Rabbanon land. You're surrounded by Rabbanon land. Rabbanon said it's chayv chatas. The only question is, why are you chayv chatas? Mishumai matrinan beid, let's be more exact. Let's say you see a person chas v'shalom about to do what? To do meshamel, and you want to know when you give him the hasra, the warning, and apparently looks like he's mazid, which is, and it's times the base of mikdash, and the guy's mazid, or maybe not. You want to warn him, maybe he will stop. Nobody's trying to kill him yet. And now what? You want to give him the warning, the hasra. When you give him the hasra, to become machlokes rishonim, according to the Tosfos read, when you give hasra on Shabbos, it's a chiddush Tosfos read, you have to actually tell him which one of the 39 is about to be over. Big chiddush. There's a whole piece over here. We saw it in yeshiva. In other words, you can't tell a person who's mavir, you're mevashel. People confuse between them. Yeah, yeah. Let's say the person is putting a cholent on the fire, and you're telling him you're mavir. He's not mavir. He's not turning on the. He's not right. He's not flaring up the fire. He's putting the cholent right. So now, because mishamel has certain similarities to borer, other similarities to meraked. Now you want to warn the guy. You have to know what kind of av malocha to warn him. Lawyers anywhere? Yeah. Which clause in the law is he actually transgressing? And according to Tosfos read, you have to actually mention the right av. And you did not mention the right av, he's potter. Off the hook. Nah, 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 nah. Yeah, he's not, you're not going to do anything to him. That's Tosfos read. Tosfos, in Daf and Gimel and Beis is wrong. Tosfos says you don't have to mention the av melacha as long as you tell him, you're over Shabbos, and you're over Shabbos, and if yes, we're going to take you to Beis Din, he's going to be chayev. He's going to be chayev skila. You have to say 3 times in response. We're not learning Sanhedrin now. So who cares about my matrin and bay? Says Tosfos, it's true. If you want to be general and just say, Mister, you're over Chilul Shabbos, you're about to be Mishamer, maybe you don't know, I'm Daniel Kavschus, but yeah, if you're going to be Mishamer, you're going to be over Chilul Shabbos, and they'll be cycle you. Are you aware of this? That's a throw. So what's the question? My matrin and bay says Tosfos. If you're matre from the wrong av melacha, then it's potter. If you generally say Shabbos, that's okay. But if you tell a guy who's meraked, you're borer, you tell borer you are mechatech, you tell mechatech you're korea, then he's off the hook. Because then you didn't do the right thing, right? If I say you're from America, I'm right. If I say you're from, I don't know, LA and you're from Dallas, I'm wrong. I'm getting into wrong details. I'm wrong. That's wrong, right? So if you go to details, better not go to details. If you want to go to details, it might be exact. That's the point. So now comes the question: what kind of a straw do we give to guys mishamer? Rabba Omar mishum boirer. Rabba says this is under boirer. Rabbi Zera Omar mishum meraked. Rabbi Zera says that's meraked, the one to do with sifting. Now, okay, we don't have much time, but we will continue. Omar Rabba, kavos didi mistabra. I'll tell you why I believe. There's a very important Rashi here. We won't see it today, but for now, yeah, that's what it's saying. Rabba says what? Boirer of Zera Mirakid. Omar Rabba, let's continue before Rashi. Kavasi didi mistabra. What I say makes the most sense. Why? Ma darko shel boirer, noitel oichel umeniach psoiles, afochanami noitel soichel umeniach psoiles, which means, what's the normal way of boirer? You take the food and you leave behind the psoiles, you leave behind the garbage, the refuse, the bad stuff. So to here, meaning when the guy is doing that straining, what stays in the cup underneath and the barrel underneath? The good stuff, the wine, and the garbage stays on top. And therefore, this is a mechanism of what? Of boirer. Now, this is very, very, anybody who knows Hilchos Shabbos, that seems to be wrong. Because what do you mean darko shel boirer? Darko shel boirer means the osir way. Rabbi is not telling us. Darko means the way it shouldn't be done. It's the normal way, therefore it's osir. But the more normal, the more it's osir to do. You're not allowed to do the normal thing, the osir thing. So here Rabbi is telling me something very new. What's Rabbi telling me? That the normal way of boirer, which should be osir, is to take the good out of the bad. That's not what I learned when I was about, I don't know, elementary school. What did I learn? No, not true. The normal way of boirer, you have a pile of good apples, You take the bad apples out. That's the normal way of borer. That's what's also on Shabbos. But if you take the good out of the bad, that's everybody knows that's allowed. Why is it allowed? Because it's not the derech. So Tais is asking, Shamish Main, what's Rabbi talking about? Answer, Tais is a brilliant answer. Over here, the majority is bad. I actually stressed it yesterday for a reason. You are dealing here with a whole layer of gook, excuse my language. The whole thing is one gook, one garbage, which has some droplets of wine in it. Yeah? But if the if the majority is bad and you take the good out of the bad, that's the normal way, therefore forbidden. It makes much more sense. Why is it really that by boirer, the normal way of boirer, which is osir, is to take the bad out of the good? Of course, I have hopefully good bushel of apples. Some of them are bad and rotten. I stay with the good, and the bad ones I pick out. That's what they do in factories before machines, yeah? Therefore, that's also way. Therefore, it's chayv and it's yeah. But she'enkin, the majority is bad. I'm not going to take all the bad ones. Of course, out of the bad ones, there's a few droplets of good. If the majority is bad, the normal way is to take the good. Therefore, that's also that's chayv, and that's the correct boirer. To be continued tomorrow, Mirza Hashem. I'm sorry for the short year. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to start a little bit earlier. Yeah, 9:10. What do you say? Do it make me feel no guilt? Not guilty. 9:10 tomorrow? Yeah, 9:10. 9:10? 9:10, 9:10, 9:10. So anytime, 9:10. Thursday, regular Bezos Hashem. Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. No, yeah, shorter shear, but deeper. Baruch Hashem. Thank you to everybody. Kol kavod for coming.